So it's no secret that right now, with the way the world is going, it's definitely not in the best place, right? A lot of people are in debt. A lot of people are struggling financially. Um, our world leaders aren't gonna help us. If anything, they're just trying to start more problems just so that they can find an excuse to like not pay taxes or whatever the fuck, right? They would rather use whatever money they have to just support themselves. And unfortunately, that means that regular day people like us have no choice but to give up on everything, including their dreams. But I don't think that has to be the case. I really don't. I believe that it is still possible to chase your dreams. And I don't think we should keep chasing our dreams off the table as an option. Instead, I believe that when we chase our dreams, we chase them responsibly. We make choices that don't leave us that don't leave us crippled. You want to make sure that, when you're chasing your dreams, you do research on how you can accomplish any goal of your choice, how you can achieve anything in life without harming yourself, or at least finding ways to reduce the damage that is self-inflicted on you when, chasing your dreams. So, chasing your dreams, it may seem impossible at first, but that's only because you're just getting started. And I may sound like I'm coping right now, right? I may sound like I'm coping, but I'm saying this because, a lot of people have been doubting me lately, right? And even if this video is a coping mechanism, I think maybe I will go somewhere with this. I don't know. Whatever happens next, but I think it's always important that you keep dreaming, that you keep pushing and striving for the things for the things you believe in. A lot of people will try and convince you that in life it's impossible to achieve anything. That's not true at all. We've seen people who are less capable than anybody, than the average Joe around the world do some of the greatest things and, accomplish some of the greatest feats in the world. And I know that to many of you it may seem like luck, but let me make this clear that chasing your dream, right, the dream that you have in mind may not be the right one for you, but chasing a dream that is not meant for you can help you realize your actual goal in life, your actual purpose, the thing you're actually going to serve. And I think that's a really important realization, because if you refuse to chase your dreams in any shape or form, then you eventually will end up really doing nothing, And I'm not saying everybody's dream is the same, right? Not everybody wants to be famous. Not everybody wants to rule the world. Not everybody wants to have a lot of money. Some people just want to have enough to be able to do what they love the most. Like an artist. An artist doesn't want to be a millionaire, but he does want to make a good living off his art. He does want to be able to feed himself, and he wants to be, he wants to be able to provide himself or his family with just his artwork. And they also want to have that as an excuse to draw more or sing more. A lot of people believe that when it comes to chasing your dream, you're chasing the impossible, but not everybody wants that. Where one wants to be an artist, the other one maybe just wants to go home and play video games. Who knows? There are people out there who are happy just working at a grocery store, returning home just to play video games. A lot of them just want to be home, turn on their Xbox, their PlayStation, their PC, whatever, and they're happy that way. They make their money, selling, a company's product. They go home, they buy their favorite game. They play their favorite game. That's their dream. That's their goal. And there's nothing wrong with it because they're not asking for much. So, your dream is only as impossible as you make it. It's difficult. It's hard. I understand that. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're left with absolutely nothing. Because it's no secret. Throughout history, a lot of the greatest people who made some of the greatest accomplishments have went broke, have went homeless, have went in crippling debt. That's no secret. And it's not a secret at all. I'm afraid too. I'm 19. I'm going to be 20 in about a month. I am also worried about my life and where it's headed. I made that clear earlier. And I'm a young kid. Not a young kid. I'm an adult now, let's be honest. But I'm pretty young for my age. And I'm scared. I am. But I still have to try. I still have to try. If I don't try, then what was the whole point of me suffering? You know what I mean? If you're going to suffer, then you might as well suffer, pushing for and striving for something that'll ease the pain. I'm not saying go out of your way and cope by doing like drugs and alcohol. No, what I'm saying is make your suffering worth it. Make it worth it. Find the healthiest form of coping, and that is chasing your dreams. Not to an unhealthy extent, but to the extent where your dream eases the pain as much as it can. Unfortunately, life is very gray. Some people have it black, some people have it white. But at the end of the day, life is gray. There's an in-between to almost everything. And that's just how it is. But what I can tell you is that you really shouldn't try and go out and waste your life all because you're afraid. There's so much resources out there today that can help you accomplish your goal, accomplish your dreams. We've seen it many times. People, they would give it a shot. They're at the end's wits. They talk about how their life is a mess. And all of a sudden, they just get this click. It snaps into their head. Next thing you know, they're one of the most influential human beings on earth. Don't be afraid to chase your dreams. Chase it responsibly. I'd recommend that you look for ways on how you can accomplish your goal in life without doing too much damage to it. So that's what I recommend. Another thing I recommend is that you stay positive. Be aware, because when it's time to be not negative, but when it's time for you to defend yourself or anything, always be aware. Just because you're a positive person, it doesn't mean you can't be angry either. So it's okay to feel a certain way during hard times, but whatever you do, always keep your head up. Because that right there, that negativity is very demotivating. It's going to keep you down. There are going to be things in your life that will try and approach you and just push you down. Don't let that happen. Another thing that I recommend as well is to drop bad habits. Not instantly, but try to find methods to abandon habits that are very clearly damaging your life. A good example is addiction. If you're addicted to something that you know is not good for you, then try to drop that addiction best way you can, because addiction will ruin you. I've seen it ruin so many people. I've seen that. It's disgusting. It's not, it's horrifying. Unfortunately, I still suffer from trauma because of the people around me who were addicted to certain things, and that ended up ruining my life as well. Now, luckily, I never got addicted to anything, but I almost did fall for a specific addiction. I don't want to mention it, but I did almost fall for it at one point in middle school. Overall, just drop any bad habits you have. That's like the first step, because having a bunch of bad habits is very distracting, and that can, take you away from actually accomplishing any goals you have. Because imagine you're trying to do something that requires a lot of time and attention, and you instead spend most of your time just scrolling endlessly. So I'd highly find ways to get rid of any unhealthy addictions and to find ways to focus more on your goals. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you really do achieve whatever dream you are tracing. Just know that I do believe in you. So thank you.